Oh, welcome back to another one, bro. We are back, and we're gonna be talking about the top 5 best fights of 2024. So in last video, we talked about the top 5 fights that turned out to be bad, and now we have the top 5 fights, or the top 5 best fights of the year. All right, so here it is. This is my top 5. This is UFC based. I'm doing this UFC, and then I'm gonna do boxing separately, but. I'm gonna be doing UFC for now, and let's get it, man. Top 5 best fights of the year of 2024. Let's go with number 5 here. I'm gonna get right into it, and before I get right into it though, I'm gonna give you some of the criteria that I'm giving it. And the best fights for me is fights that were either in terms of exciting. They were exciting. Probably when you first heard about the matchup, it wasn't that exciting. But when the fight happened, it became like a good fight, right? And then my other criteria is, to use 2 big names, and that didn't disappoint. We had Apollo Costa, Sean Strickland, both big names. So guess what? They disappointed. We had Ian Gary, MVP, 2 big names, and disappointed. But this one right here, this one's gonna be for the ones that didn't disappoint, and just for the fights that were pretty much sort of like a back and forth. Those are the criteria that I have for the best fights. So number 5, we're gonna go with Zal Huber versus Rivovich, man. Look, the reason why I have Zal Huber versus Rivovich here at the top 5 best fights of 2024 is because it was a back and forth, man. It was a great fight, man. Rivovich went in there. I think he hurt Zal Huber in the second round. Hurt him bad. Rivovich had a Zal Huber like literally like a ping pong ball just bouncing off the fucking cage. Every side of the cage, bro. He had him like a bouncing ball from like one of those games, man. Those arcade machines. But yeah, man, dude, this guy was like, he was beating the shit out of Zal Huber in the second round. But then Zal Huber comes back, bro. He's like, you know what? I'm coming back. I come back. Zal Huber goes in there, hits him, counters him with I think an elbow, drops Rivovich, and now the tides turn, and then we have Zal Huber going into town with at Rivovich. It was a good fight, and then the third round was another round where it was back and forth, but Rivovich ended up winning that fight because obviously I think he had the best moments as well. I think he had a good round 1, and then the round 2 was a pretty close round 2. But I'll give it to Rivovich because he had the most of the control in that round. And then I think round 3 was Zal Huber. Yeah, it was a good fight. The reason why it's number 5 is because it's not a title fight either. It's not a title fight. It's not a contender fight. It's just a sort of just trying to see who get in the rankings, sort of. But it wasn't like a big sort of meaningful fight. But it was really entertaining. So I had to put it in there in the top 5, man. Had to put it in there. And so Huber showed his Mexican grit, and it shows you why we need Mexican fighters more in the UFC because they're so entertaining. They go in there, they pour their heart and soul, and they go in there and throw chingazos, man. They go in there and throw putazos, and they don't stop, bro. They don't stop. But yeah, man. Top 5, number 5th, Zal Huber, Rivovich. All right, number 4. All right, we have number 4 here. Okay. This is a tough one. This is a tough one, bro. But I'm going to give it to Oliveira versus Sarukian. Another fight that was pretty back and forth, but this was mostly grappling heavy. Grappling / it was grappling heavy. Unlike the Rivovich and Zal Huber, that was striking battle, just going in there and best at striking, who could knock each other out. This one was just straight up just grappling slash wrestling, so but mostly grappling battle. And yeah, it was entertaining, man, because it had you at the edge of your seat, because Oliveira is, well, he's one of the best finishers, especially in submission. And he had Sorokin in a very difficult spot in that first round. He had him. I thought he was gonna submit Sorokin, but Sorokin managed to just hold on, be patient, be calm, keep cool, but at the same time just trying to not, just trying everything, bro. Just showing why he's one of the best at grappling, bro. He just in there and showed his grappling defense and just managed to survive someone like Charles Oliveira, who has so many finishes, especially submission finishes in the UFC. And then he went in there and just, did work. And obviously, he survived that round, and then he just, it was a good fight. And then obviously, we had Sorokin controlling Oliveira most of the fight. But I do say that Oliveira had the closest. He had the closest. He was the closest one to a finish. But Sorokin had a lot of. He had a lot of control. So that's the difference: control or finishing, or close to like being finished. You tell me, man. You tell me. So that's number 4 right there. All right. Number 3. I'm gonna give it to Khalil Rountree and Pereira. I'm gonna have to give it to Khalil and Pereira, bro. That was a good fight. Khalil was showing why he was at where he's at. Why he has improved a lot. I think he gave Pereira his best challenge at 205. The first 2 rounds were clearly Khalil Rountree's. Definitely, he controlled Alex Pereira he controlled the range a lot in those 2 rounds, and was he was connecting and was keeping with especially with the speed and the explosiveness of Khalil Rountree. He kept kind of like getting Pereira out of rhythm and kind of making him look kind of a little awkward a bit at points. But Alex Pereira showed why he's the best, or why he's he's the champion. He manages to do some tweaks, and just start letting Khalil just gas out a little bit. Start to just kind of block everything and trying to just be defensive here. Just letting Khalil Rountree gas out a little bit, because he knows he's getting gassed out. Because coming on the 3rd round, you can tell Khalil was starting to gas out, and so Pereira took note of that. He let him just keep going for a bit more, like 2 minutes more, and then after that is when Pereira started throwing and just started to come back. And my God, dude, that 4th round, bro, Pereira gave Khalil Rountree an ass whooping like you cannot believe, man. That was one of the worst ass whoopings I've seen, bro. Holy shit! Like bro, Pereira is considered to be one of the hardest punchers in the UFC, and look how much punishment Khalil Rountree has, bro. He took so much fucking damage. He took so many jabs, so many right hands, knees. He was just like, dude, Pereira was free flowing right there, bro. Alright, he was free flowing. He was right there. He wasn't even like, dude, he was in a flow state, hitting him with every combination. It was just, damn, that was a brutal like 4th round for Khalil Rountree. And that was the round that pretty much ended it all. He went in there, and guess what happened? Hit him with a nice, beautiful body shot, and just was it. Body shots. You cannot take too many body shots, bro. You could. There's fighters who can take anything, everything, every sort of punch, every arsenal in the face. But when it comes to body shots, bro, a lot of people cannot take them. Even the best that can take headshots and shit, they cannot take a body shot. It's just one good body shot placed, bro, crumbling you down, bro. And that's what happened. You know, Pereira hit him with a nice, beautiful hook to the body, and that was it. Khalil just collapses to the ground in pain, and that was it. It was a good fight, man. It was a good fight. So that was number 3, bro. And that was a good fight. That was a good fight. All right. Now we're going to go to number 2 here. Number 2. All right. We are going to give it to DDP versus Adesanya. Yes, DDP versus Adesanya, bro. This was a good fight. It was a good fight, bro. All right. It was a good fight because, yeah, Easy was, you know, he was winning the first 2 rounds, right? He was winning the first 2 rounds, right? Based on like punches landed, I guess, and stuff, right? But they weren't doing as much effective damage as, you know, you would have thought, you know, because the few couple shots that DDP Adesanya, you could tell it affected Adesanya. Those punches, every time DDP landed, you could tell he felt those punches. He felt them. And even though Adesanya won most of the round, was winning the rounds a little bit more convincingly than DDP. DDP was just waiting, bro. He was just waiting. He was waiting for Adesanya to just gas a little bit, hitting him here, hitting him, landing just not landing a lot, but whenever he landed, it was, you can tell, man. And that's what happened. You know, especially I think it was 4th round. Was it 4th round where I think Adesanya starts getting a bit more comfortable against DDP, and then DDP he catches him with a good couple of shots while Izzy was coming in confidently, and then with those couple of shots that DDP threw, it kind of it stunned. It hurt Izzy. Because Izzy just started going back and just kind of like he was hurt from that, man, which is incredible. It just shows how hard DDP actually hit him, and then, you know, Izzy was starting to just move backwards, just trying to retreat. He was retreating. I don't know what the fuck he tried to do. He turned around and tried to like kind of run, or he tried to retreat, but like he turned around or some shit. But like DDP wasn't having it, bro. DDP wasn't having it. He went in there and guess what he did? Grabbed him, and he grabbed him by the he ankle locked him. He picked him up by the fucking ankle, took his back, jumped on him with the like so fast, quick, smooth, got the choke, and then just squeezed and just ended Izzy's, you know, he finished. Izzy's finished. And he finished him, man. That was a good fight, man. That was a good fight. And the reason why this was number 2 is because it was obviously a title fight. And unlike Khalil Roundtree and Pereira, yes, that was a title fight too, but Khalil was number 8, man. Right? And Pereira was number 8, the champion. Meanwhile, on DDP versus Adesanya, it was a number 1 versus number 2, pretty much. And so that's why this fight was more and higher than the last one. But they were both good fights, man. Good fucking fights. Alright. So let's go number 1. Number 1. Numero uno. Alright, on my list of the top best fights of 2024. You could call me a bit biased in this one or not, but it was just the significance of this fight and the person who happened to. You know, we're talking about Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway, man. That was, for me, that was one of the best fights. It was the best. It was technical. It showed what MMA is all about, you know. It showed the highest level of MMA right there. 2 guys at the top. Max Holloway coming off his best performance and his best win, his best KO. You know, coming with the momentum, with all the momentum in the world. Goes against Topuria, who is just coming after knocking out Volkanovski. Has a momentum as well. and has all the swagger, all the talk. He literally has everything, skills, everything, and he goes in there, and it was a beautiful fight, man. It wasn't as one-sided as you think, bro. You know, Ilia Topuria and Max Holloway it was a back and forth fight. It was a back and forth fight, man. It was a back and forth fight, but you could clearly tell that the punches of Topuria was just much stronger, much heavier. It just came with more impact and more power, and you know, you could tell that Max Holloway felt that power, bro, because he was, as soon as he landed, as soon as he felt Topuria's power, he wasn't having it, you know. He wasn't having it, and he was kicking a lot, using his range, his reach, kicking, jabbing, and just trying to keep outside of the range of Topuria, just trying to control Topuria from the range, since Topuria is a short fighter. Topuria needs to go inside and, you know, hurt him. That's how Topuria needs to. He had to beat someone like Max Holloway. He has to get in there in the line of fire and, you know, deliver those big shots. And that's exactly what he did, man. He rocked him with a beautiful straight right in the middle, with the 1-2. He like jabbed, and then with the right hand, like 1-2 down the pipe. Literally, like, as soon as the punch landed, it literally, like, you could tell, dude, that punch, like, it rocked Max Holloway. Like if his head went back when that hit with that shot, bro. You could just tell about the massive impact that it has, you know. And that was it. That was the beginning of the end. That big shot was it. He went in there, got him in the cage, and just started throwing combinations, not just to the head, but to the body, head, head and body, just up and down, downstairs, upstairs. That's how you throw combinations, man. Upstairs, downstairs. Keep your opponent guessing, and eventually you're gonna KO him. And that's what happened. You know, that was basically the end for Max Holloway. He was hurt, and once you're hurt against Ilia Topuria, you're finished. You're not gonna be able to survive when you're hurt against someone like Topuria. Not a chance, man. But that's it. That was my top 5 best fights of 2024. We're gonna give it to, obviously, 5th, Zahir Rivovic, and number 4, Oliveira versus Sarukian. Number 3 will go to Khalil Roundtree and Pereira. Number 2 is DDP versus Adesanya. And number 1 is Topuria versus Max Holloway, man. So those are, for me, the best fights of 2024. So thank you guys for watching, and let me know, guys, what were your favorite fights of the year. Was any of this in your guys' list, or do you guys have any other mentions that I didn't mention here? Let me guys know in the comments down below, and let me know, man. Let me know. And yeah, peace out, boys, and happy new year.